Hello Internet, AdoptedMike here, and today I'm going to take a look at this dual hard drive external enclosure. This is from Orico, and as you can see here, it's a dual 3.5 inch. It's USB 3.0, and it's also a RAID enclosure, so this is going to be great. We got aluminum alloy, USB 3.0 super speed connectivity, and it supports RAID 0, RAID 1, and JBOD, which is fantastic. I intend to use this as a backup, so I will be using this in RAID 1. It's compatible with 3.5 inch SATA 1, 2, and 3 hard drives and SSDs, so I'm assuming that it's also going to work with 2.5 inch as well too, if it's saying SSD, because I don't know of any 3.5 inch SSDs, but we'll take a look. We've got UASP for faster transfer rates as well. We can take a look at the side here. We've got the dual 3.5 inch RAID enclosure, again 3.5 inch there, going through LED. We got power and activity. We've got black and silver. I believe I've got the silver one here. And then Windows XP or later, although to be fair, being a USB device, it's going to be more if you actually have USB 3.0 support in your operating system, not necessarily Windows XP or later. But yeah, so you're just going to need a compatible USB 3.0 controller for the OS that you have. The back is the same as the front. Oh yeah, they do have the silver one here. And then on the side, again, we have similar information. So we'll go ahead and open it up and we'll take a look. Alright, so in the box we get a USB attaching cable. We get a power brick, as well as the, I'm in the US, so I get the US power cord. Looks like we have a little key here to lock it, which is nice. We've got a little thank you card, and then we've got a user manual, as well as the unit itself. Let's take a closer look at the unit. Alright, so here's the front of the unit. We've got two LEDs here to show drive activity, as well as the locking that we saw from earlier with the keys. You got the little lock there. We've got a power indicator LED there, and then we've got a drive operation LED, so if it's in RAID 0, 1, normal, or JBOD, you can take a peek there and it'll just be lit up, as well as a set button, which is used during the setting up of how the device is going to treat the drives. And then, as you can see here, we do have opening doors. There are no trays or anything like that, and no tools. So one of the issues with that is going to be you can't really get a 2.5 inch drive like an SSD in here, because there's no tray for it to mount onto. So, and the rails that are back here, they're set up for a 3.5 inch drive to fit into, so you're going to really run into trouble getting an SSD in there. You're going to have to do it manually, and it's probably not going to be easy to get an SSD in there, and especially not in and out if that's what you're going to use it for. So I think the description of the box is inaccurate when it comes to that. This is only going to be a 3.5 inch drive capable. So on the side, we just got an Orico symbol, on the other side the same. The important stuff we get back to is in the rear here. We've got a 60mm fan, and I peeked from the inside. It's fan similar to this one that I have here, so it's relatively thin, so I don't expect it to move a lot of air, although we'll test that in a little bit. But this is the size of the fan. I had one laying around. I just kind of matched it up with what I could see, and yeah, so not a great fan, but it'll work. We've got an on-off switch there. We've got our USB connector, and then we've got the DC power, and then here is where you select how you want it to treat the drives, and then along with that set button, it's laid out in the manual how you get it set up between the dip switches and then the set button. Then you get the device to treat the drives however you wish. So anyway, now I'm going to do a demonstration here. We'll install a couple of drives, and I'll show you my use case scenario, which I think for me it's going to work out fantastic. But I will be right back once I got it set up. Real quickly, I wanted to add, for my purposes, I'm going to be using two of these 6 terabyte Western Digital RAID drives. So these are NAS hard drives and lower RPMs, so they won't generate as much heat. So I think the smaller fan on this unit won't be nearly as detrimental to these drives, but I just wanted to point that out. So we're going to be testing them with these two 6 terabyte 5400 RPM drives. Alright, so I've got it all set up and I'm actually writing some data to it now. This is going to be my NAS backup, so I feel like that's what my use case scenario was, that it made the most sense to me. Now I've got a RAID 1 backup, so that's pretty good, you know what I mean? An off-site backup would be even better, but small, compact form factor like this, I could probably just grab it and take it out of the house if I needed to, or lock it up in a safe after it's done doing a backup. Popped the 2 drives in, had no problems, got it configured for RAID 1, and now it's accessed in Windows and it's pulling data over the network and backing up the NAS currently. So couple things to point out: when it's idle for a while, it seemed like it's maybe about 10 minutes, it does power the drives down and the fan does shut off. When the fan is running and the drives are writing, I don't hear it over the my desktop PC, although it is audible, so that is one thing to think about. But yeah, so right now there's just a little bit of a fan noise from that 60mm fan in the back, but I actually don't hear the drives at all. It's not really warm, you know what I mean? It's you can tell that it's doing something because there is a little bit of heat on the aluminum right now, but it's definitely not like, it's not hot or anything like that. So I'm not worried about like the temperature of the drives. Yeah, so I think for my use case scenario, this is going to work out perfect, because when it's done doing a backup, I'll probably just shut it off and then do a scheduled backup weekly or monthly or something like that, and I won't even have it on all the time. But anyway, if you have any questions, I'd be glad to help out. Post them in the comments below, and as always, thank you for watching.